Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today I have two very special guests. I have Burkett and
Two
I have
very
my
special
son
kids.
Silas. Yes.
That's what I heard. Today I have two very special kids.
Yeah.
Also true.
So,
Hi
and
everyone.
we're gonna be talking a little bit today about dealing with different kids. So, yeah, this guy is definitely different, and he's definitely shown me a lot about how to deal in life. And one of
Yeah.
the things that I really remember from the access consciousness classes that I've done is one time Dane was talking about his sister and his sister raising her kids, and him saying to her, look, your kids are going to be different. Okay, they're not going to need to eat the same as normal kids, they're not going to need to sleep the same as normal kids. They're going to have way more energy than most of them are used to. They're going to be aware of a whole lot of things, and it's like you've got to deal with them differently. You can't treat them normal or they're not going to thrive. And that really stuck with me. And it's been really interesting, being present with this guy and the different choices that he makes and finding out what actually works for him. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And um, it's a little bit distracted. I need to go on this side, maybe. There we go. So,
Well,
and
and I
Burkett,
love
I
how.
know, yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, well, I was just going to say, I saw a photo of you recently with a young person in your life. I was wondering who that was.
Yeah, that was my niece. I guess you saw my niece, like my 12-year-old niece, and I have a few nephews as well, and a couple of them are X-Men too, and yeah, I love it. And that also links into to what I was gonna say, that also this conversation right now is so energetic. Like we could even be silent because Silas is saying so much, and you too, and me too, and that's also what I have with my nephew and nieces. Yeah, and I love that when you can literally
Yeah.
just be that fast, where words aren't really required per se. Yeah.
Yes, and that's actually one of the things that when I first started bringing, or when we first started bringing Silas to classes, one of the things that Gary would talk about while we're in the class is like, Silas is putting things in your head and you can hear him, and this is one of the ways that X-Men actually communicate and function. And a lot of kids do not get acknowledged for the way that they can communicate before they
Yeah.
can talk. So, if you've got one of these kids in your life, the X-Men kids are the ones that are different. They're a little bit weird. They don't fit in with everyone else, and they might have the ability to communicate with you without words. So, watch out.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you as a parent do not have that, or you think you don't have it, but I'm looking at my life and I see people who are not aware that they are aware of what their kids are communicating. And then it can be quite a difficulty, right? Because you have, like, in school and all the systems, you have like all these things of how you should approach a kid then, but a lot of that actually doesn't work for kids that are that different, and we try to approach it from this linear thing, and they're like, that doesn't even exist in their world.
Yeah, totally. And I think that's one of the great tools that I learned, from Access Consciousness in dealing with kids that are different is always start with a question. Like, ask the kids what they're aware of, because no one else is asking them what they're aware of. Everyone else is just telling them what to do, and so they get invalidated for what they know and the awareness that they have. But if you're willing to ask them a question, it empowers them to know that they know, and to create the future that they're also aware of.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's
Do you
great
have
to have
anything to add,
tools.
mister? You going to say anything? Or are you just going to pretend to be sleeping? It was very funny. We did a video the other day, and I asked him, what is, like, what is being different for you? And he just cracked up laughing. And like you said, Burkett, you know, he didn't have any words, but it was definitely, you definitely got a sense for what was different in his world. So yeah,
Yeah.
they have a very different way of showing you what's possible.
Yeah. And it makes me think of, like, I had a session once with like a 3-year-old boy and his mom, and it was like 5 minutes, and almost nothing was being said, and I was like, okay, done. And the mother was like, what? And but there was such an energetic communication, even like when I was at home. I already had this whole conversation with him, and then it was like this. And it was amazing because that boy had quite some difficulties at school. Was not in school yet, but I don't know the word in English, like the daycare, and with sleeping, and like with difficult behavior at home, with hitting stuff, etc. And yeah, like that changed a lot for him, and it was also an acknowledgement for me again of like, yeah, it can really be this fast, and I also, my body also got turned on to do it like this, to be it like this. Yeah.
I love that. Um, yeah, there are so many cool things that are actually available when you're willing to, have a different possibility and not have to do it like everyone else does it. Sometimes this guy goes to sleep at, 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, and I'm already asleep, and he's the one that's still up. And then, he wakes up when he's ready, if he can. And it's like, he wakes up in the morning and he's fresh and he's ready to go. Or sometimes he'll have snacks like for the whole day, and then he won't want a full dinner. And then, for one day he'll have like 3 big meals, and then, he's done, he's back to snacks again for a few days. So there's just
Yeah.
so many different ways that they function. And so, um, so I'm doing a call called dealing with different kids, crossed out difficult. And it's really about also letting people know about these different tools that I've learned. And I also am a facilitator of something called the X-Men specialty. And really, in the X-Men specialty, we're talking to adults and kids who've been diagnosed with different labels of disability. And it's like, I've learned so much about how to deal with these kids and these adults in a different way. And
Yeah.
so many of the people who have taken these classes have been like, oh my God, this is the manual that I should have got when I was at
Yes.
school growing up. It would have helped my life so much. And I'm the same. I wish I had these tools when I was a kid. So that's the possibility that we're really offering and looking to create.
Yeah, because even what you just said about the food, like if you would approach that in a way that you learn, you would like teach your kids like it's important to eat, and you would try out all this stuff, and then that doesn't work, and you all get like at home, and that's just one great example of like, if no one tells you what else is possible, then you don't know, you're not aware of it, and it can be so much more easy and fun if someone says, hey, you could also try this, and what do you know about this? And yeah, also for me, because I don't have kids, but also for me as a being, in this body, that book, which would teach a fish how to climb a tree, that was a massive changer for me.
Yeah, myself as well. I highly recommend that you guys, get that book and listen to it, read it. It changed a lot for me. And um, you know, I guess the other thing is like, if you are like, we pretty much everyone has kids in their life, or they've been a kid at some point. So it's also like we're gonna be exploring what it's like to be different, no matter what age you are.
Yeah. I love what you wrote in the Facebook event about that. It's also about that part where you might have hidden your own magic for yourself. So you think you are normal, but it's actually this magical universe that you cut yourself off from. Yeah.
Yeah, well, so many of us as kids, came in like being this magic, having it available. And, there is this place where it's like somewhere we decide it has to be, serious and significant. And that's when we start cutting off that magic that we are. And so, yeah, it's also an invitation to have that again. And, I think one other thing I just want to say before we leave is, like, if you're a parent and you're watching this, you're doing the absolute best you can with the tools that you have available. And this is really just opening up to something different, and something that you can add to what you already know. And, what if you could judge yourself a little bit less as a parent? Cameo of Sarah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, looking forward to it, Sal.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
And you never know. Silas might even be there too for a bit. What do you reckon? Cool. Well, thanks guys for watching. And so you can find the class at wynne-jones.com, and there's going to be translation available into many languages. So yeah, check it out if you're interested. And thanks so much for coming on, Burkett, and see you guys soon. Bye.